Alan Shearer thinks it's an embarrassment England called up Jermain Defoe, and I'm inclined to agree. Don't get it twisted. When I first saw his statement, I was like, miserable bastard. Then I sat back, began to analyse what he said, and then ping, I got it. It's not that Defoe doesn't deserve it. Since coming back from Toronto, he's scored more goals than any other English player besides Harry Kane. It's the fact a country the size of England should not be relying on a 34-year-old playing for perennial relegation strugglers Sunderland. And I know injuries to Harry Kane, Daniel Sturridge, Wayne Rooney and Daniel Welbeck didn't help, but Defoe's name was in the discussion anyways. If all had been fit, or in the case of Danny Welbeck playing regularly, it is extremely likely Defoe would have been a number 2 behind Harry Kane, which is quite alarming, considering during his peak, Defoe was barely a footnote in the squad. Arguably, Defoe is still in his prime, but for argument's sake, if we consider his peak to be the years of 2004 when he first joined Spurs, to around about 2010 when he temporarily fell off, then he took a backseat to Wayne Rooney, Michael Owen, Peter Crouch and Emil Heskey. Judging from those players, it is clear how far England have fallen behind. I won't even bother with the first two because it's self-explanatory. But with Crouch and Heskey, they offered far more than their goals. They were the ultimate team players who made their attacking partners look better than they actually were and frightened even the best defenders out of their lives due to their ungainliness. Plus, they both scored at the highest levels of the game, and particularly with Heskey, he has tons of trophies to his name. Compare that to the players Defoe's competing with today. Vardy, is he a one-hit wonder? Rashford, falling behind in his development. Sturridge, face it, he's finished. Wayne Rooney, finished. Welbeck, never really started. Apart from Harry Kane, none of the names are convincing. However, even that is nothing if you're taking the striking options back to Shearer's day. In 1996, Shearer's peak season where he was third in the Ballon d'Or, he competed with Robbie Fowler, Les Ferdinand, Teddy Sheringham, Matt Letizia, Andy Cole, Ian Wright. You have to go through all those illustrious names before you start finding the fairly decent players like Ian Dublin and Chris Sutton, or the talented but troubled Stan Collymore. Oh, and let's not forget Michael Owen, who would burst into the scene in 1997. Of course, back then the game was far more about number 9s, whereas now the game's more about forwards who can play a variety of positions across the front. Even then, if you compare England's options to the likes of Argentina, France, Belgium, or even Brazil for that matter, then you begin to see how terminal England's decline is. And you know what the worst thing is? I cannot see anyone realistically usurping Defoe from now up until the World Cup when he's 35. So yes, Alan Shearer's right, it is an embarrassment Defoe was called up, but it was deserved. What do you think the England forward lineup looks like at its strongest? For me, it's Kane as he's the best, Vardy for the work rate, Defoe, Fox in the box, and Rashford as the wild card. And in that sense, I think Southgate got it spot on. However, the longer Rashford is kept on United's bench, the more unjustified it gets to keep him. So I wouldn't mind, what am I saying? I would mind, but I would understand if Andy Carroll or even Troy Deeney, before we started talking about Danny Welbeck or Daniel Sturridge. At least with them, there's the long ball option. Ugh, it hurts to say that. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications on the latest videos. Till next time, take care.
It's Big Boy Scoop keeping YouTubers in the loop, and I just want to say that you're awesome. Why? Because you're watching a channel dedicated to football analysis. How will you stay awesome? Well, you gotta do two things. Subscribe and immediately click the bell afterwards so that you get a notification whenever I upload a video. Capiche?